Hawa, Barakati Hawa Sai, Barakati Hawa, Barakati Hawa Sai, Barakati Hawa, Barakati Hawa Sai, Bahasara Hakudash. I want to give double honor to our elder apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone Ruel, as well as peace and blessings, health and wellness to the house of David the elect. I was a high spirit wind Judah, spirit wind lawyer, and today I want to go into a live stream entitled "Being Here Will Unalive Us." All right, being here is destroying us. All right. If you think about, if you ever looked at your family's photo album, you know, your family's photo album, all right, the family picture book, all right, or you may have looked at your relatives on Facebook, or, you know, and you might have seen your aunties and uncles from the 80s, or maybe even the 70s, you know, or even like your grandparents, maybe back in the 60s, all right. You look at them then, all right, and you look at them now. All right, and you notice something, like they've aged greatly. All right, they've aged in a broad sense. They've aged. All right, and what we think is a normal progression of life, I have reason to believe that we didn't age like that in the ancient world. All right, even though, you know, after the flood, man lives to be about 120 years. All right. Man lived to be about 120 years. All right. Jake aged gracefully. How do I know? Because there are pictures of Jakes that were born into slavery, and they've aged outside of slavery, like after the institution of slavery was outlawed, and they will be 109 years old, 111 years old, 90 years old, and they'll look like a 60, 70-year-old today. And this was 120 years ago. All right, 120 years ago, you had pictures of Jake's Israelites that was 105 years old. They served slavery and everything. But the fact that they ate directly from the earth, or the fact that they grew most of their own food, the animals they killed were animals that they personally killed. All right. Despite them having that extreme, rigorous labor, all right, Jake was still living to be 80, 90, 100, 120, you know, 109. Of course, you still had Jake dying from different things back then, all right, but typically, even in slavery and after slavery, Jakes was still living a very long time. All right, I watched a lot of health videos, and a lot of Jakes say that they grandma, their great grandma lived to be 90, lived to be 100, and they basically grew their own food and, you know, all these different things, man. All right, they grew their own food and all that, man. As it says in Micah 2:10, arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. So we live in a world right now where being here is destroying us, man. Like I said, if you look at your family's photo album and you look at a picture of your auntie and uncle or your grandparents in their youth, they, with all humility, look like totally different people. All right? Most Jakes, you know, back in the 70s and the 80s were thin, they were lean, you know, with that afro, with that Israelite glow. But they never deviated from the standard American diet, right? They never stopped smoking and drinking and eating that processed meat, processed carbs. You know what happened? They turn a certain age, and of course you get married. A lot of them got married. They may have had divorces, but they look like totally different people. And even if you look at, you know, we look at our pictures when we were 19, 20, fresh out of high school. Now we're in our 30s. A lot of us, we look like totally different people, man. And it's not just the natural progression of life, it's being here. You have centurions in the blue zone areas that's 100 years old, 105 years old in Central America, all right, or Okinawa, Japan, and they could work circles around us, man, especially in the agricultural world, man. Chopping sugar cane and doing all these different things, chopping bamboo, all right, doing all these different things, man. All right. doing all these different things, man. All right. So what does that tell you about this kingdom that we're living in? All right, it's not natural. All right, and we're like fish swimming in a polluted fish tank, man. We're like fish swimming in a polluted fish tank. Okay? Arise ye and depart. This is not your rest, man. So being here is destroying us, man. All right? It's not natural for us to age the way we're aging. It's not natural for somebody in the late 20s and early 30s and late 40s to have heart attacks and strokes. That's not the natural progression of life. To where you turn around, you get around 30 and you just started declining. Now, genetically, they say after 30 you do go on a natural degeneration, but it's not like that, you know, because your body's institution, your body's metabolism and its vigor was so strong that when you were in your so-called teens or really early adulthood and in your 20s, you could digest food properly. You had that high metabolism in a lot of cases. But then you turn a certain age and that metabolism slows down, and now you're starting to see the consequences of being on the standard American diet and in a lot of cases, a sedentary lifestyle. You see? You start to see the consequences of that, man. All right? Like I said, we're breathing a polluted air. All right, we're eating. So we might eat fruit and vegetables, or we might increase our fruit and vegetable intake, but a lot of it is sprayed with pesticides or is genetically modified. All right? So being here is destroying us, man. That's not natural for men in their 20s and 30s. They have erectile dysfunction, man. All right. It's not natural for women to have this excessive amount of estrogen to where they're getting fibroids. All right. Facial hair. All right. Men getting, we getting fat easy. You see? It's something about here that's destroying Jake. So many Jakes are bound to the prison industrial complex. All right. Why is it that just Jake that's tied into the system like that? So-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American man. All right. Why is it there's just Jake that has these inner cities where it's ran with the absence of men, but it's subsidized to be ran with the absence of men, just to raise degenerates or underdeveloped men who are tied into the prison industrial complex. All right, just to give birth to females who are promiscuous, man. That's not natural. This environment is unhealthy and it's destroying us, man. All right, that's why we need a savior, man. All because you got the freedom to go to a club, a bar, all right, you can move around in the city. That does not mean that you're not a slave. We're still slaves, man. But they know how to keep the slaves passive by giving them entertainment, by giving them bread and services. But Jake is still a slave, man. We're working jobs that's killing us. Like the jobs that we're working is killing us, man. All right, but with that, I hope you brothers and sisters were edified. Once again, I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh Bahashemi Hamashah Bahashon Hakadosh. I also want to give double honor to our elder apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone we well. Peace and blessings to the witness to the house of David the elect. The Bible Baal, come Yahshua, Solomon.